Contestant number 11, Lester McCurdy. Lester has been in San Diego for 8 years. He lived in National City, Knox Park, and Grove, Paradise Hills. He just loves the community. He's the baby boy.
See, that one you had made, huh?
His family, a family of 10. And he said that he could change his name. He would just be simply known as Mac.
He's proved his many negative top coat made a minute to show you. This double-breasted short jacket with a double-collar suit. The material is a wool blend. The coat a rayon blend. Accessories are rayon cut, carbon, and pink. Blue handmade leather skinny shoe. A blue and white shirt. Designed by Lester himself.
There he is. Contestant number 11. Brother
All right. Happy born day to you, Mac. And it's good to see you with us all. And this is just a little bit about myself and you. When we did travel in the same nutrition classes in the 90s.
Yeah.
With Dr. Barbara Flott and Mildred and Mildred in LA.
Yeah, now Dr. Mildred, Dr. Dumas.
Dr. Dumas, excuse me. And Dr. Mildred Dumas, my mother talked about you all the time. So I have to give you Catherine's number, okay?
Please do.
I will. I must give you her number. So Mac and I, we both had a fascination about health and herbal awareness. And from that came a lovely relationship. Mm-hmm. And we both moved from Los Angeles and briefly stayed in touch. And these are just a few beautiful things and memories about you that I know.
Okay.
Definitely you had a regulated way of life. And it showed. I think I've seen you in your uniform once or twice. Immaculate, very, very stunning. It was very respectful when you wore it. And as you all know, that Mac will have an herb class with you right in the middle of the street or any country, you know. And he always had a devised health regimen that met several requirements. And it just evolved around his approach to living. He just kind of had a natural rhythm for that, you know. Y'all all know this, you know.
Yeah, most of them know.
Yeah.
Not Eric, though. Eric might not.
Oh, okay. And I don't think you and I really had like libations that we got like really wrecked on drinks, but I know that you did drink and eat in moderation. And you talked about the sound waves today, like you talked about it in the 90s. So you always got a sufficient amount of sleep and exercise. I remember when I visited you in San Diego, you were holding my feet. I held you, but you were holding my feet as I did like full sit-ups. And I was just trying to like, you know, beat you out of doing the most, but damn, you really, you really did. So then when I held your feet, ankles, and then I think we were doing like 50 or 100, and that's a long time ago. But I remember the next day, my stomach, my abs was like on fire. And these are just some memories that I just remember, even when you came to Cleveland.
So we were exercising? You talking about kind of exercise?
We were we were working our abs. Yep.
Okay, because I was there holding the ankles. I'm like,
doing full sit-ups.
Military, that was military stuff. When we used
Right.
Hold your ankles, you ain't gonna move. That stomach getting all that.
Absolutely. I hope this is making you smile, because I'm like, what in the world? Because you always like a serious dude, you know, to me. Always. And I remember like your visit to Cleveland, your cousin was looking for a health store so she could prepare this meal. You had everyone on deck looking for some kind of raised something. I don't know if I have no, I forgot what it was. but she called me. What's that cousin's name, man?
My cousin?
Yeah, here in Cleveland.
Oh, Jocelyn. You talking about?
So Jocelyn, we were looking for something that you had requested when you got to Jocelyn's house.
Oh, some herbs, I hope.
No, it was something. She was preparing. No, you were going to prepare a meal when you got here.
Oh, wow.
So it was something, some kind of special, something that you needed.
Okay.
And we do live a little bit far apart, and she couldn't find it. But anyway, knowing you made it work with probably some leaves and berries or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't remember cooking back then. I mean, I can make vegan and vegetarian meals now, but back then I was limited because I try to get.
No. This is when you visited Jocelyn. This was like what? When were you here? 2008, 16, 15, 18?
Might have been. Jocelyn not here, so she can't confirm.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm brain damaged, so I just had a stroke. So you missed that part. I just had a stroke. I'm not sure.
So then lastly, speaking of your stroke, Mac, hearing about your stroke and how you overcame the hardships and you turned the worst condition into a source of strength and advancement. You always have been that kind of guy. And health cannot be defined merely as an absence of sickness. And nor is it a matter of good physical condition alone. But since the health of the mind, it cannot be overlooked, you know.
Mind, body, and spirit.
Mind, body, and spirit. And I believe everybody on this Zoom that Mac has clarified the best health regimen for mankind. And I trust that you all agree on that. And that's all I got to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. That was gracious. Thank you. Thank you. Very gracious of you.
So what we got the chance to do is experience San Diego in the early days, back in the mid-70s. And we were running free concerts in the park and having a good time. Going to some of the clubs. We would go Young Bucks and we were doing our thing. I ended up getting injured and ended up going out as a disabled veteran. And Mac was still on board, but I got involved in an accident. I was on my way to stand duty and was involved in a car accident, went through a windshield, spent about a year in the hospital. So I came out of the military, but we ended up beating some years later when he was working for Super Shuttle. I was somewhere in Pasadena on Arroyo Parkway, and I ran into him in a parking lot.
Coming out of Domino's, because I was at Domino running with a pizza.
Yeah, running with a
ran
pizza.
right into him.
Right. And so my firstborn must have been about 5 or 6 years old now. This dude's 43 years old now. So I got two sons. One's 43 and the other one is about 36. But the second one was born after I got back with Mike. And like they both grown men now. And it's like we stayed in contact. He's moved around. When he told me he was going back in the military, I told him, oh, hell no. But when he mentioned that he worked for Kaiser, I did too. I worked 36 years in cardiac surgery after getting out the military, a disabled veteran. Mm-hmm. So I lounged around there for about a year before they started getting me together to get to work. And I didn't go back to Chicago. Well, I did briefly, but I moved back to California. And so I ended up making my life here, bought and built me a home here, and got wife, granddaughter is 21, and she stays in Champaign, Illinois. Remember the Fighting Alumni, and two grown sons. One lives in Atlanta and the other one's in South Pass. But they all do well. Yeah, everybody's doing good. And me and this brother just keep running. We keep running into things. And, you know, my family was also longevity as far as in Chicago and did pretty good. And I still have brothers and sisters that remain there on the South Side. Got one brother in Tennessee now. And myself, I just decided once I retired, I just do my life right out here. So just like right now, I'm sitting, you see the jazz station on the TV in the back of me. I'm here with the dog. Mama's at work, and me and the dog go for a couple of walks when it's not 90 degrees outside. Okay, that's enough saying.
Tell them about the drop the towel, if you remember, the drop the towel incident.
I don't remember.
Drop the towel. when I lived on Ocean View Boulevard, I lived off of Ocean View Boulevard one time, close to the base. And Eric came over to visit me one time, and I was in the shower, and he was knocking at the door. And then when I opened the door, the police was there.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh, yeah.
remember
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
you
yeah.
just
Oh,
take
yeah.
it from there. When I opened the door, the police was there. They tell him what happened.
Well, they told me to drop the towel. I came with a bunch of guys. We were coming back from a club, and they were tripping. We brothers out of Chicago and different other places. They were tripping. So when we got there, they had a thing that military brothers, what they used to do is they
Hold
get in the
on,
cab.
Eric. You said they was stripping or tripping?
They were tripping.
Oh, okay, tripping.
So, yeah,
Got you.
so we were coming from Chi-Town, a club in
police
San
was.
Diego. And so what ended up happening is we rolled up, we were coming over towards Mac's apartment, but somebody else stayed over in the apartments. I don't remember, but all I know is that when we got to the thing, to the door, everybody jumped out the cab. So when they jumped out the cab driver was trying to get his money. So next thing I know, he called the police, and the police was in there. I'm coming to Mac's house and everything. I don't know, but I'm going to his house, and I knock on the door, and he say he in the shower. He gets out of the shower, and then next thing I know, see the police shining the light, and they tell him when he opened the door to drop the towel.
Now he told me,
That's
the way he told me, what I remember, it was police all on the outside of my door. I didn't know this. I'm on the other side of the door. Police is on the right side, the left side. A police is behind Eric with a gun in his back. And then I open the door and they telling me, drop the towel. I'm dripping wet out the shower. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this police? Drop the towel. And and I'm like, and Eric, he wasn't saying nothing. Eric was just looking at me. There was a cop with a gun in his back, while he facing the door me. And I dropped the towel.
Keep in mind, I'm a disabled veteran. At this particular point, I've been in a head-on collision. I'd been in the hospital a while. I didn't got back. I'm coming back to San Diego. So, the experience is I got brain damage from this. I dealt with it for a long time, but I worked with Kaiser 36 years in cardiac surgery. I retired from that, but that's how when we got back to meeting and everything.
So
this is how it is. But two different brothers in
said,
Chicago on two different experiences.
Let me tell them this: what the police said, or what they said, somebody had been shot, and that's what they were looking for, the person that shot this person. And I'm like, I'm dripping wet out of the shower. How the heck I got a gun? And, I'm dropping the towel. I'm butt naked now.
Lived near the 15. Anybody that's familiar with California, I live in Highway 15 to take you to Vegas or to San Diego. And I'm on the edge of Los Angeles. But I worked in Los Angeles for 36 years. And that's why I worked at the hospital where he was a security guard, where he said he whooped that guy's ass. He never told me about that.
Can you hear me, everybody?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Lester and I met because of herbs. We were all under the tutelage of the late Dr. Barbara Flott, and Constance mentioned her. This lady was so special. I mean, she was an herbal walking book, and she taught us a lot. And Lester, he really took it and ran. He does everything. I look at his videos and I learn a lot from this young man. And he does videos for me. Some of my classes, had a class last year in Compton, and he came all the way and videoed it for me. I'm having another this year. I hope he'll be around. Maybe he'll come again and video for me again. But he's videoed me and some of my clients and put them on the web. All this web stuff kind of goes right over my head. So I have to contact him a lot to help me with things like that. And the last workshop I went to him was the one where Betty and I went with him, and that was just so much fun. He was one of the executives there.
The press.
Yeah, the press. So he got us all in.
Press.
Yeah, we were press people that day. and he was really doing the press. Betty and I deviated a little bit, but we were helping. We did help.
Yeah, helping eat all the free food they had.
We had such a good time that day. I miss things like that. Following Lester to some of these events because he is so studious. I mean, his heart and soul. When he's into something, he's into it, you know. And some of you know that about him. I had 2 girls, didn't have any sons, so he's one of my adopted sons, and we keep in touch.
My
And
herbal mama.
yeah. Happy birthday, Lester.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Right.
Anyway, I just thank God for this young man. It was so good meeting all of you today. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Dumas didn't tell y'all too. She is a playwright. When we went to the same church, cause she was a part, I don't know if she was a member at First AME, but she
No.
came there and she wrote the plays that we had. We performed plays there, and Mildred is a playwright.
Yeah.
Also had a movie she was trying to get produced.
Oh yeah.
If anybody knows somebody with some funding to help her, I know that was the thing. She couldn't
Oh,
get
yeah.
funded.
I
but
was
she had a-
pitching that here in Cleveland,
You
Mildred.
were pitching
I
it.
was pitching that.
Anybody
was-
know? Yeah, know
I-
anybody with some? We called them angels back in the day. They walk in with money. So you
Yeah.
know anybody who can help me do the movies? All of you come to the red carpet event. I'd invite all of you. Let's see if we can get some movies made.
Yep, Michael Collier and a bunch of other people was in that
Oh yeah.
movie of hers. It
Mike-
wasn't real good, but she, like I say, she needed to get funding for it.
Yes. And Michael and 227. What's her name?
Oh yeah,
Marla Gibbs.
Marla Gibbs.
Her daughter was directing it. Angela Gibbs was directing it. I had some good people in there. Michael Collier and the Grammy Award winning guy. What do you call it when you have a
The trailer.
trailer? We called it a trailer. They told us it was something else because the movie had been done. But you could see it if you go to Bitter Inheritance, the movie, directed by Marla Gibbs and written by Dr. Mildred Dumas. You can pull it up and see how far we got.
Bitter
Inheritance.
I think you could pull it up on YouTube too.
Oh, okay.
And speaking of playwrights and acting, I'm gonna show y'all a little skit that I did. This was back when I was doing the Mr. Black contest in San Diego. It was a part from Fences. I don't know if y'all saw that in the poll. I had 2 polls. I didn't launch the other one. But in one of the polls, I said I played the same role as Denzel Washington.
Wow.
And I think I asked something like, I got accolades for it. Who played it better? And I'm sure y'all will say Denzel, but this is the first time I did this role in Fences. Trust me, I did it 100 more times.
Wow.
And I know when I saw the movie Fences, Denzel, I would have put him to some challenge. That's all I'm saying. And here you go. I'm gonna share it. I would have put him to some challenge.
Do I like you? Who the hell say I gotta like you? What law is there say I gotta like you? Don't you eat every day? Don't you? Yeah. You eat every day. Got a roof over your head, clothes on your back. Going around here talking about do I like you? I go out of here every morning, bust my butt, put up with those crackers every day, cause I like you. You about the biggest fool I ever saw. My job is my responsibility. You understand that? A man gotta take care of his family, live in my house, sleep your behind on my bed clothes. You dirty up with my food. Cause you my son. You my flesh and blood. Not cause I like you. Cause I owe a responsibility to you. Cause it's my duty to take care of you. Let's get this straight right here. Don't go along any longer. I ain't gotta like you. Mr. Man worked that out for you. Like you know, talk about how I was part of the bargain. Don't you try and go through life worrying about if somebody likes you or not. You best be making sure they do what's right by you.
All right, first I want to say happy birthday.
Thank
I
you.
don't see nobody. Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's my niece. Let her talk here.
Happy birthday. Thank you for inviting me. My experience is kind of funny because
Tell them your name. Tell them your name.
oh, I'm sorry. My name is Simone. I'm the oldest to my mom and my brother and my sister Landra and Aaron.
My mom right above her.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
mom Karen. Hi, mom.
Hello.
I live in Stager, Illinois.
Stager, it's a suburb
Yeah.
of Chicago.
Yep, I have 2 adult daughters who have 2 kids, so I'm a grandmother.
What? How old is your daughters? I ain't seen them in.
20 and 22.
Wow.
Yep. So I have a 1-year-old granddaughter and a 5-month-old grandson.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. They're grown too. Look just like me too.
I bet.
So my experience, I think I was about 5 or 6.
I ain't think you gonna tell them that.
Oh,
Go ahead. I don't care.
you
It ain't gonna bother me.
I was about 5 or 6, and I think my was he was watching me for a little bit, right?
Yeah, babysitting. Karen had me babysitting.
So I guess Uncle Lester didn't really babysit or anything, and I was young, I was a baby. I was just
21.
learning like 911 and stuff like that. So he said, "I'm going to the store. I'll be right back." I was like,
She started crying and bawling. Bawling. I mean, I'm 21, you know, all the kids 15 with me. I'm 21.
So he's like, I'll be right back. So when he left, my mind only thought to, what do I do? What do I do? 911. So I called the police and the police came. And when the police came, I think they told you, they was like, well, you know, they told me, well, what happened? I was like, I was scared. I'm just scared. My uncle just went to the store. He said he'll be right back. And I think, what did they tell you? They said,
I was shocked. First of all, I'm like, I come back to the house, the police there. I'm like, what the heck? And then they tell it, you know, they just told me, you know, you can't leave a child like that alone. And you know what I'm saying? I knew I was wrong then, but I was like,
he didn't know. He didn't know anything about it. But I laugh and joke. But Uncle Lester has always promoted the use of herbs. I remember when my grandfather was, he had gout really bad. His hands were always really swollen. I'm like, Granddaddy, why are your hands so big? So I remember Uncle Lester coming down one time. He was giving people herbs. And he said, okay, because Granddaddy was taking a lot of medicine. He was like, all right, we're going to stop all this medicine. And he put him on an herb regimen. And when I tell you, my grandfather he didn't have any gout flare-ups after that, did he?
I don't think so.
And how old was he when he was like 70 when you started?
In his 80s or something.
In his 80s.
Maybe. Late 70s.
And he lived 20 years later, and up driving and he was like just moving, and it was like it just seemed like he re-energized a new person. Like he changed his eating habits. He still ate his sweets, but he changed his eating habits. He was taking the herbs, drinking aloe vera juice. And I mean, man, it did wonders for him.
Yeah.
So he's really what he say about his herbs. My grandfather is proof. So
He used to always say, only eat organic. Not organic. Only eat organic. He only wanted organic.
yeah,
It was organic.
yeah,
He was telling Karen them, my other sister that was taking care of him, when you go to the store, only get organic.
mhm,
He was a vegetarian eating organic then. I was like, I couldn't believe it when he said that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are my memories. He would always come and tell us stories about different places that he went to, and that was my Uncle Lester. I knew he was always traveling somewhere.
Mhm.
So yeah,
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
you're welcome.
I'm Lester's cousin.
Oh,
Hi, Karen.
hi, Letitia.
Hello. Hi, Simone. Lester and my father are first cousins. Uncle Bill, Lester's father, was my father's uncle. My grandfather and Uncle Bill were brothers.
Yeah, Uncle Buddy.
So, and so Uncle Bill was my father's, my father's uncle, which make Lester his first cousin. Lester and my dad were our first cousins.
Yeah.
So my name is Letitia Barnett, and my maiden name is McCurtis.
Yeah.
And I am a registered nurse by profession for 34 years.
Wow.
And I'm still working as
Oh,
a nurse.
okay.
I don't work on the floor anymore, but I do work from home. And what I do is arrange home care services for veterans in their homes.
All
'Cause I
right.
work for the VA, and I've been with the VA for 16 years.
Where about?
Jesse Brown, downtown
Okay.
Jesse Brown, West
Yeah,
Side.
yeah.
Used to be West Side VA, but they named it Jesse Brown. He
Yeah, my
is,
brother goes there. He's a disabled veteran.
mhm. Okay,
Yeah, he
so
goes to
Jesse
Jesse Brown.
Yep. Used to be West Side VA a
Okay.
long time ago. And they changed it to Jesse Brown. They named it Jesse Brown is he was under the Bill Clinton's administration.
Okay.
And Bill Clinton appointed him to be the Veterans Affairs Secretary
Okay.
in 1996. And so they named the hospital after him after he passed away.
Okay.
Husband is also a veteran, and he works at the VA. He's a retired police officer here in Maywood.
Oh,
And he retired almost 17, 18 years ago and started working at Jesse Brown, pushing patients around. So he likes doing that.
mhm.
And Uncle Bill came to Jesse Brown while I was there as well in his hundreds. He was 100 years old, 101 years old when he came to Jesse Brown.
Yeah.
And longevity, I mean, gosh. But I live here in Maywood, Illinois. Born and raised here in Chicago. At the age of 4, we moved here. My parents moved us here to Maywood when I was 4 years old. So I've been in Chicago area all my life. I've never left. And I'm still here near my parents. My husband and I have been married to my husband now for 36 years. We celebrated 36 years of marriage in July of this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so I have very fond memories of Lester and I growing up as children. We've been we've been together ever since we were children,
Hmm.
ever since I can remember.
Yeah.
And the fond memories that I have is Uncle Bill and Auntie Juanita bringing the kids, all of the kids over to our house. We used to go to each other's houses. Here in Maywood, they would come here, Karen, Lester, Sarah, rest her soul.
Yeah.
And Deborah was a little older. She didn't come, but
Yeah.
the three of them always came. And we would always have barbecues in the backyard. Sometimes we would go to Uncle Bill and Auntie Juanita's house and play Monopoly together. The three of us, all the three, Lester, Karen, and Sarah, myself, and my sisters. My brother wasn't born at the time. And we used to play Monopoly together. We just did a lot of childhood things together. Those are my fond memories. All I remember is us running around in the backyard, in the front yard, going back and forth from the west side to Maywood, from the west side to Maywood, from the west side to Maywood, having barbecues and
That's it. I hear
family
you.
reunions. Those are the fond memories I have. I can remember Lester as far as when I was 4 years old. So, I mean, we've been together forever,
Huh.
forever,
Yeah.
never in a day.
Almost like another sister. Huh?
That's right. That's right. So, like I said, my maiden name is McCurtis. I'm Letitia McCurtis Barnett. And I always thought it was fascinating to share the same last name as my cousins. So those are just the fond memories that I have. We used to always visit each other from house to house, from Maywood to the west side to Maywood, Maywood to the west side, go to each other's weddings and funerals and things and family gatherings,
Yeah.
family reunions, everything. So those are my memories.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you, cousin.